Ladies and gentlemen, as we begin our services, if we can please kindly turn off all cell phones or electronic devices, or please place them on silent. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. We have gathered here to give kavod achron to Mrs. Pauline Levinson, wonderful mother, grandmother, great-grandmother, friend, and matriarch of a beautiful family. To begin the service, we're going to recite 2 chapters of Psalms of Tehillim. I'd like to ask her grandson, Eli, to please come up and recite 1. Thank you. Just to ask help, please. No, just read.
Mizmor LeDavid, Adonai mi yagor be'ohalecha, mishkan behar kodshecha. Halech tamim ufoel tzedek v'dover emes v'levavo. Lo ragala shano lo asal re'ehu ra'ah v'cherpo lo nasal kirovo. Nivze ve'inav nimas v'esirei Adonai yechabed. Nishbal laharav v'lo yamir. Kaspo lo nasan v'neshech v'shochad al nakila lakach. Ose'ela lo yimot le'olam.
And Rabbi Wittenberg for the second Tehillim, please.
Mizmor LeDavid, Adonai Rei Lo Exar, Benos Dasha Yerbiteni, Ame Benukas Yana Aleni, Nafshi Yeshoviv Yanchini Maglei Tzedek, Leman Shemo, Gam Kielek Begeit Samabes, Lo Yura Kiata Imadi, Shivdecha Mishantecha, Hima Yanachamuni, Targ Lefanai Shochan, Neged Zarurai, Dishante B'Shem Roshi, Kosi Rivaya, Akto v'chesed yedefuni kol yimei chayai v'shavti b'beis Adonai la'arech yamim.
So one of the prayers that we have that are the hallmarks of a Jewish woman is Eshes Chayil, the traditionally recited on Friday nights in honor of the matriarch of the house. So I want to cite 2 psukim of the Eshes Chayil prayer this morning and relate them to the life of your mother, your grandmother, great-grandmother. And we'll begin with the phrase, Lo yichbe balayla neira. Her lamp never goes out at night. The Jewish woman is praised that she's always working, always busy, always doing for the sake of others, and her light is always on. The concept of a light during nighttime, I think, symbolizes a lot of your mother's life. She forged ahead through some dark periods, so a lot of adversity in her early life, confronting the loss of her parents at a very young age, as we will hear, constantly moving from state to state all over the Northeast, due to job changes and shuttling back and forth to this home and that home. It was a rather unstable early part of her life, with lots of upheaval, and there was a dark period. But ironically, that produced within your mother a remarkable level of consistency and calmness and equanimity. These are values and qualities that were inherited by her sons, and this allowed her to be more sensitive and more empathetic, and a very good listener. And she became a classic nurturer. She let your father be the disciplinarian, and she became the nurturer and warm, gentle touch of your childhood. Despite all of the upheaval of her early life, she gave you a very nurturing existence for which you were grateful. So lo yichbeh balayla neira. Her lamp did not dim even in darkness. Her lamp continued to shine despite that dark period. At the same time, due to the challenges of her upbringing, she developed a certain toughness and tenacity, a very hard work ethic, a very refined street sense, and she embodied a different pasuk of Eshes Chayil, Chagra ba'oz masneha va'ta'amez ro'aseha, that she girded herself with strength and performed her task with vigor. The Ralbag, a commentary on Mishlei, describes this pasuk as lashon zrizas, someone who was full of alacrity and energy, running to do, girding herself, using her arms to perform many tasks for the sake of others. She was a trooper and she was a fighter to her very last days. The length of her declining years was met with lots of fighting, lots of pushing, and she lived a very, very long life, more than the doctors even gave her, because she was such a fighter, because she girded herself with strength. She learned how to drive at a later age. She did bookkeeping jobs even later in her life. And it was very painful for the family, as her flame dimmed, to watch her being unable to do those bookkeeping jobs and to take care of all the details of life that she had managed for so long. It was beautiful for us to see her taken care of by her wonderful family, so devoted and so attentive to her needs. And they were thoughtful and sensitive to her, just like she was to them. And your expressions of kibbud aim were a testament to the devotion you had for her, and it was very, very moving for us to watch that. And now Mrs. Levinson is at rest. She embodied protection of others, which is the ultimate theme of this time of the year between Purim and Pesach. Pesach is all about God's protection of us. So there's a remarkable Rashi on that pasuk, Lo yichbe b'layla neira. Her flame did not dim at night. If you look at an actual scroll of Tanakh, the word balayla is spelled without the letter Hey. It's actually spelled Bet Lamed Yud Lam. It's pronounced balayla, but it's spelled Bilal. And Rashi explains that this is referring to Leil Shimurim, the night of watching, meaning Pesach, the night in which Hashem shows his ultimate shmirah, protection of the Jewish people. So Balayla is also Bilal, and this is a godly act, to act in protection of your family, to always seek what's best for them, to always do what you can for them and shield them from any harm. This is what Mrs. Levinson did for so many years, and the family honors her now and thanks her for that remarkable impact she made on their lives. Now, the other truism about the passing of someone, even at an advanced age, is that they never truly leave us. They're always part of our lives. That is also inherent in the pasuk, Lo yichbe b'layla neira. Even in a time of darkness, her flame does not diminish. The Malbim explains, Shagam achar hamaves ta'ir nero bi'ishan choshach. Even after the passing of someone, their light still shines. Our lives are still imbued with lessons and uplift from the lives of those who have passed. So even at the time of someone's funeral, as we pay them kavod achron, we are comforted that her light shines on. Her light shines on, her legacy lives on, her flame still burns and is not extinguished. She has enabled you, her family, to flourish and succeed. She had tremendous nachas from the family she created. I treasured my conversations with your mother. She spoke with great pride over the accomplishments of her family. Some of which she couldn't fathom how amazing her family was, and she recognized that Hashem had given her the strength to come to this moment and to see all of the nachas that she did, and for that she receives her eternal reward. She's her candle still burning, even balayla, lo yichbe balayla neira. And we honor her memory, and we are inspired by the stories that we are hearing about her. And we know that this will be a difficult but very meaningful process as we mourn for her loss. So at this time, I would like to invite her sons, first Barry and then Arthur, to deliver Hespedim in memory of their mother.
ones out of the other of these. Thank you for coming to honor my mother, Mom, to Ellie and Avi, and to her 11 great-grandchildren, all of whom she was immensely proud. First of all, I want to thank the aides who assisted Mom during the last few years, in particular Bianca, who's here, and especially Ye, who's been with her full-time for the last 2 years. Mom lived longer and had a better quality of life due to your careful and loving attention. Thank you. As Rabbi Miadanik mentioned, Mom had a tough childhood about which she rarely spoke. Late in her life, we managed to get a few details, although by then some of the chronology was hazy. I'll tell you a little of what I've pieced together because I think it helps explain how that history gave her an inner reservoir of toughness in the face of adversity. Yet in spite of that, or perhaps because of those experiences, Mom was always a sympathetic listener and had a kind word and lots of empathy for the woes of others. Mom was born in 1927 to recent immigrants from the same little town of Faleshti in Bessarabia, then a Romanian part of the Russian Empire, and now in Moldova on the border of a little country called Ukraine. In the Ellis Island database, I found that Itzik, or as it says in the database, Fitzik, for some reason, Itzik Gitzis arrived on January 19th, 1921 at the age of 21. And Maria, or also Miriam, or Mary as she went, Neisenman arrived on July 1st and 23 at the age of 23. They settled in Brooklyn and in 1925 had a son, my Uncle Al. May he rest in peace. I never met either of those grandparents. My older brother, Olav Shalom, was named after Itzik, and I was named after Itzik's father, Beryl. But Mom said he was a gregarious man who could chat with anyone. I guess, Art, you're the one who got that gene. Mary died at the age of 35 when Mom was 7 years old. Mom and her older brother were cared for by a succession of neighbors and friends while her dad worked as a furrier. Mom used to say that she never had as warm a coat as the one her father pieced together from scrap pelts for her. When we were growing up, we sometimes had visits from uncle or aunt so-and-so, most of whom weren't actually related to us, but they had cared for Mom and Al. Itzik remarried, but that didn't last long. Mom said the second wife didn't really like children. They had just arrived and moved to Strawberry Mansion in Philadelphia when Itzik succumbed to pneumonia at the age of 47. So Mom found herself at the age of 19 an orphan, and she and Al took care of themselves until he shipped out to Wakayama, Japan with the Navy. He brought back a pearl necklace, which she treasured all her life. Somehow, with all the moving around, Mom did finish high school, became a bookkeeper. She became inseparable friends with two other young ladies, Alice and Phyllis. We visited Aunt Alice, another fake relative, many times in Northeast Philly when we were growing up. Late in life, Mom went back to work at a law firm in Center City, Philly, helping out her friend Phyllis. And despite all the challenges I've only briefly touched upon, she was not bitter, but always patient, friendly, and sympathetic. In 1953, she married Dad, and the rest somehow feels to me like history, rather less like history and more like current events. Mom raised the three of us boys, though through more than the usual childhood adversity, and was a steadying force through Dad's heart attacks in his 40s and 50s, his bypass surgery in his 60s, and cancer surgeries in his 70s. And by then, she had her own medical issues, twin knee replacements, a hip replacement, 3 successive cardiac pacemakers, but she fought her way back each time. Unlike her parents, it somehow seemed that she would just keep going and going, the Energizer mother. I always had an affinity for Mom's birthday, being only a few days apart from mine in July, and I was hoping to celebrate her 98th with her. So, Mom, you almost made it. May her memory be for a blessing.
Good morning. I'm Arthur, Mom's youngest. I appreciate all of you being here today to honor my wonderful mother's life. Many thanks to Bianca and Gay, who looked after Mom with relentless patience for the last years of her life. Mom was a strong, selfless woman with patient and very caring soul. I have fond memories from my childhood, my mother being so welcoming to all my friends, making them feel at home. Mom knew how to entertain, hosting many of the family's holiday dinners. In my younger years, I remember Mom enjoying the simpler joys of life, dancing with my father and singing along to her favorite songs on the radio. Mom was a meticulous homemaker, managing to keep everything in order despite having to pick up after 3 messy boys and my dad. Mom had a gift for making people feel at home. As an adult, I remember every time I'd visit, I looked forward to her famous banana cake. She always had it ready for me. I know many of you also enjoyed her delicious banana and apple cakes. More than anything, Mom was unwavering source of emotional support. No matter the circumstance, she always had my back. And it wasn't just me, she cared deeply for everyone who entered her life. I know that my own sense of compassion and kindness come from her. She showed extraordinary patience and love, especially for my older brother, Ira, who struggled with serious mental challenges, health challenges. Her dedication to helping him never wavered. If not for her relentless love and care, my brother would have ended up on the streets. She truly had the patience of a saint. Thank you, Mom, for the lessons, love, and support you showed me and so many others. Mom leaves behind a beautiful legacy, kindness, strength, and values on her 2 grandchildren and 11 great-grandchildren. In this way, she will always be with us. Today, we say goodbye to a precious soul. Mom, I love you, I miss you, and I'll always carry you in my heart. Rest in peace.
Thank you. These are beautiful, beautiful portraits of an amazing woman who will never be forgotten by the family and all who met her. We will conclude the funeral service with the recitation of the Kel Mully, the memorial prayer, by her grandson, Rabbi Avi Levinson. So please rise for the recitation.
רחמים שוכן במרומים, אמצי מנוחה נכונה כנפי השכינה, ומעלות קדושים וטהורים, כזוהר הרקיע מזהירים, אס נשמע פייריזה בסחיצקק שולחו לעולמה, בעבור שאנחנו מתפללים בעד הזכרת נשמתו, בגן עדן תהי מנוחתו, לכן בעל הרחמים יחזרה בסתר כנפיו לעולמים, ויצור בצור החיים אס נשמתו, אדוני הוא נחלתו, ושנוח בשלום המשכבו, ונאמר אמן.
The interment will take place at the King David Cemetery in Bensalem, Pennsylvania, and the procession will take place immediately after the service is concluded, starting in the parking lot. And Shiva will be observed today at Ms. Levinson's apartment in Voorhees, and then after this afternoon in Highland Park at the Levinson home. And all the details about Minyanim and Shiva times are available for further details. We ask everyone at this time to please follow the hearse outside for the mitzvah of Levayas Hames. Thank you.